What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dorm Debate podcast. We have a full cast on hand. We got John, we got Jonathan, we got Caleb here. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're talking about Gronkowski. We're going to talk about the draft. We're going to talk about the Packers situation. It's going to be a great time. Right now, as you guys know, if you guys saw last episode, it was just John and I. So we want to get Jonathan and Caleb's draft thoughts on their respective teams. Caleb, the Eagles, and Jonathan, the Cowboys. So I think it's fitting that we start with Caleb first, and then we'll end on America's team. So
That's
Caleb, I want to ask a specific question. How do you feel about Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, that's been a big I have obviously a lot of Eagles friends of mine, a few particularly incensed at that pick. You know, their argument generally is like, we could have gotten more help. There could have been someone better. I agree with most of this critique about it, where it's like, it is an eyebrow raising, pick. But when I look under the hood and I look at some more critical analysis from like ESPN, Sports Illustrated, what I saw is that Eagles as an organization really value the backup quarterback position maybe more than most other teams. And, you saw that come to fruition with Nick Foles, obviously. And I think what they were trying to do was just get a really solid backup for at least for a 4-year minimum that has a high floor and a higher ceiling. So maybe at some point you trade him away for picks, or, if he ever comes to play, that he's at least a worthy substitute. I think Carson Wentz for me is still the guy. I love Carson Wentz. I don't have any issues with him. He's the guy. But I understand the mentality where having that depth in that position opens up the road for, giving us the depth, opens the road for us to go deeper into competitive places where we couldn't go last season without Foles or without that strong of a backup. So in that case, I get it. But there was a lot of critique about Jalen Hurts being the second. Same with I'm just kind of parrying your question, but going to Jalen Reagor about like when we could have gotten Justin Jefferson. Not gonna lie, seeing CeeDee Lamb go to the Cowboys hurt a little bit when you're a few picks away. So you got us there, Jonathan. But but from what I understand about Jalen Reagor, I think his dad played for the Eagles. And again, I trust Doug and Howie to understand the player. Part of it's chemistry, part of it I think Reagor is a skilled player. But that one also was kind of critiqued because, if you go just by talent, people would generally say that Justin Jefferson was the better receiver to begin with. Where Reagor will go, I don't know. But with the Jalen Hurts, I like Jalen Hurts as a player. I think he has that playmaking ability. He's a good quarterback. And, he definitely has room to improve, which I think would be great under a guy like Doug Peterson, who's great with training quarterbacks in the same league as like Andy Reid is. As well as opening up options on offense. I've seen a lot of comparisons to Taysom Hill, and a lot of people saying he's not Taysom Hill, like he's his own thing. So I think the fact that the Jalen Hurts pick surprised a lot of people means it probably surprised a lot of defensive coordinators around the league. And if anything, that's a good thing for the Eagles when they're facing opponents.
Yeah, that's basically what I said like last week when we talked about this. I was like, if any team in the league knows how valuable a backup is, it's the Eagles, because they won a Super Bowl with a backup. And then last year, Wentz got hurt and McCown played against the Seahawks in the playoffs. So the Eagles know that they need a backup quarterback. So I don't hate the pick. I mean, it wasn't their first round pick. They got a receiver, which they needed. So it's not like they just spent it on an early, like, first-round pick. They waited until, second or third round. So,
yeah, as well as something I read an article about that's really interesting is they're expanding the season to 17 games. And, it's only one more game, but as, I think it's compounding as towards the end of the season, just injuries and, I don't know about the health of the players, but they're expanding the rosters. And, I mean, especially with everything with quarantine going on, I feel like maybe the league's going to look a lot different in terms of how we play. With the extended season also coming off of just a huge break in sports and how this is going to impact training and stuff. I think a lot of teams, Eagles and other teams that invest in the backup now, I mean, we'll get to the Packers later, but like that might show that, the backup quarterback position might be one of the most important positions into the future as we go to the extended league, with the extended season, with one more game. Because now to win the Super Bowl, you might need to win, was it 20, 21 games instead of 19 or 20? That's only one game, but with a quarterback being so important, I also see that part of the Eagles pick. Again, it still raises a lot of eyebrows, and I get it. But when you look under the hood, it's like there are more credible reasons than with other leagues, other teams'
That's
picks.
true.
Yeah, I mean, you also saw, I don't know if you guys saw actually, was it 2 days ago or yesterday, Jameis Winston signed with the Saints, and they had just gotten rid of Teddy Bridgewater. So, like, the Saints are keeping that backup QB spot, like, not elite, but, like, good enough so that if something happens with Breeze, that they don't have to stress about some Joe Schmo coming in, like Drew Hodge or whatever his name is from the Steelers, Duck Hodges.
Yeah.
So
it's a cool name. But I also saw one of the critiques. Sorry to, one of the critiques from Eagles fans was like, well, we could have gotten a veteran backup for that position who was available. But going to what I said earlier, at least with Jalen Hurts, you have a lot more potential out of him, and you keep him for I think it's $6 million for 4 years. So that's I think that's a great. I mean, you might critique using a second round for him, but I don't know if he would have been there third or fourth or whenever it would have been more affordable. So I guess they want to miss out on them.
Yeah, that's true. It's a lot easier to win a Super Bowl early in a quarterback's career because you don't really have to pay them. Like you saw Mahomes, that you're able to spend money on pieces around them. That's why the Cowboys have no chance really, because it's already they have to first figure out how to pay everybody, and they can't.
All right, that's a good transition into the Cowboys. So, Jonathan, you got the floor right now. Tell us your draft grades for the Cowboys.
I was telling you guys earlier, as soon as I saw Jerry Jones smiling in the very beginning, I knew it was going to be a great draft for the Cowboys.
In his yacht.
So, last season, we had an average season. Our offense was one of the top ranked, but our defense was struggling. And, I think Amari Cooper was a main reason why our offense, kind of excelled in terms of statistics. And in games that Amari didn't play well, you kind of saw our offense struggling a little. Dak didn't have many people to target. And if you look at Randall Cobb, he came from the Packers, right, to fill in Cole Beasley's security blanket spot. I don't think he served that position as well. I think he had like 66 receptions for the year, 650 yards, about 4 touchdowns. So, I mean, he didn't fill Cole Beasley's spot like we wanted him to. So when CeeDee Lamb was still available in the draft, all these Cowboys fans on social media were like, Jerry, you better get CeeDee Lamb. This guy's a superstar. He was a superstar in college. Actually, to go back, he was a superstar in high school. He went to Waxahachie High School in Dallas, Texas. Then he went to OU, had a great couple years there under Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts. So it was kind of a given that you got to get this top-ranked receiver to fill in that number 3 position, slot receiver. So, if you look at CeeDee Lamb, he has tremendous speed. He's a big playmaker. He has excellent route running. I think he's going to provide another, avenue for Dak to take if Amari is having a bad game or, they just need another playmaker in crucial times. So I think Dak was really excited in terms of this pick. I think CeeDee Lamb adds more firepower to our offense, even though like we did have a good season statistically. It's still like defenses know how to stop us, stop Amari, stop the run, and then you basically got us. But now they have something else to worry about. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to compete with Amari as the top-ranked receiver for Dallas this upcoming season.
Wow.
That's why Jerry Jones really wanted him to have number 88. He wanted number 10, but Jerry Jones told him
it's a statement.
Yeah, so I think a lot of Cowboys fans are really excited about this pick, and I think it will serve us well. Some other picks that we got a few defensive players, like a cornerback from Alabama, Trayvon Diggs. He's had a pretty good couple of years. He had like around 8 to 10 turnovers, I believe, in the few years he played. And the beautiful thing about that is if you get a DB from the SEC, from Alabama specifically, that is coached directly by, Nick Saban, the legendary coach, then I think you have to feel pretty good about that. So we lost Byron Jones, I believe. I forgot what team he went to.
Miami.
But, where?
Miami.
Okay, yeah. I think this guy could be possibly a replacement for him. I don't know if he's going to be as good, but if you started in Alabama, then I feel pretty confident in that pick. And the rest of our picks, I think we're okay. Another cornerback, another defensive tackle. We got another center, even though our current center, he's our starter officially, but like it would be nice to have somebody else kind of compete with him in terms of that position, because Travis Frederick retired, as you know, and he was really a really good player. So I was kind of happy with that pick. But the steal of the draft, like I said, is CeeDee Lamb. Like, I don't know why he was still available. I don't know what teams are thinking.
He's not like a generational talent.
I don't know,
What
man.
like,
he was arguably like the best receiver in the college football. I don't know.
yeah.
If you're,
I mean, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the Diggs pick. I like that in the second round. But I know exactly what Jerry was doing with. I didn't think of this until after we did our podcast last week. I know exactly what Jerry was doing, like picking CeeDee Lamb. And last year, before the draft, the Cowboys led the league in yards out of any team, offensive yards. They led the league. So the only reason Jerry would want to do this is to please the fans and get people to watch the game. He doesn't care about defense. They got rid of Byron Jones, and they got Trevon Diggs. So did your defense get any better? No. So he doesn't care about defense. He just wants the fans to watch the best offense in the league, and people come in. He just cares about getting money. He doesn't really want to win the championship.
Yeah, well, if you look at the offense, like I said, the statistics can kind of be misleading, because it was kind of really geared towards Amari Cooper. If Amari Cooper didn't have a good game, our offense would suck.
What do you mean? Was Gallup not a good receiver?
Gallup, he's okay. Gallup's
yeah,
okay.
but he's a good second. He's a good second receiver. He's he's one of the best second receivers in the league.
Yeah, but he's not really a security blanket. He's not really a go-to person. We need that person. I think that CeeDee Lamb, he's a great route runner. He can always find a way to get open. Amari Cooper obviously is a great route runner. So having those two on the field at the same time, Dak has no excuses. If Dak sucks this year, get him.
Oh no, dude, you're going to come up with some what about the offensive line? You don't have Frederick now.
Yeah, we don't have Frederick, but we have a competing center that came in from Wisconsin. I forgot his name. What's his name? Tyler Biadasz or something from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I think he's going to compete with the center from University of Texas, Connor McGovern or something. And the best player is going to start. So I don't not worried about offensive line. Our offensive line has always been
Dak
good.
Dak has no excuses now?
He has no excuses. He has to perform.
Wow.
If he doesn't perform,
I think
they shouldn't sign him.
And yeah, they're still negotiating contract. See, Jerry Jones is really smart. He gave him
they'll probably
the best tools.
They'll probably franchise tag him, right? Give him 1 year before they.
I thought he already was.
Yeah.
So I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. Franchise tag him to see if he actually can perform with all these tools. He has everything he needs. Great running back, 2 great route running receivers that can always get open.
But he didn't have a bad year last year. He led the league in passer rating or what?
Yeah, but
if you take, he was up there in everything.
Yeah, like I said, if you take Amari Cooper out, then you're gonna be able to stop Dak. Amari Cooper was always the person he was looking for. And
but Amari's not going anywhere. They just signed him.
I know that, but if Amari has one bad game, then that's gonna screw us up. Now we have CeeDee Lamb. If Amari has a bad game, we have CeeDee. He can perform. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You can't just depend on one guy to perform. If he gets injured, we're done.
Yeah. Okay.
So CeeDee, I'm glad we got this guy. He's a superstar. He's a playmaker, and I think he's gonna do some great things in Dallas.
Because in this draft, there were, was it 3 really top receivers that were? It was CeeDee and 2 others. Am I right about that? I don't remember the other.
Yeah, Judy or something, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of like everybody was thinking it was going to be Judy and Lamb, like the top 2, and then there was Ruggs and Jefferson.
Yeah, it's a deep draft, but there is a decline from what I know. It's not usually follow. But it will be. I know as an Eagles fan, I was sad to see CD go, and I was like, it's going to be troublesome. I don't know what he'll be in terms of like generational or because he will have to compete with Mario. Like he'll probably be starting both of them. Good weapons, but we'll see how that pans out practically, especially under a new coach.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting though. I saw reports before about Jerry Jones, like just that he had all power to pick whoever he wanted, and the article was saying how it could be really bad for Cowboys. But I think he got some good picks. We'll see how it turns out. See, he got a lot of defensive help, which I think the Cowboys needed. Part of me agrees with John. Part of me agrees about John, where like maybe part of it was also star power. But again, you do have Amari Cooper. Having that name brand is yes, for an organization like the Cowboys, it's nice to have more jerseys to sell. But he did shore it up with 2 cornerbacks and a few other defensive linemen. So we'll see how it turns out.
It should be interesting. And
Cowboys.
I do think the Eagles had a pretty good draft. I mean, the first.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jalen Reagor is a good pick. Jalen Hurts. Let me just say this. Carson Wentz is obviously a great quarterback. And initially he was a great dual threat quarterback before he got injured. He could run the ball, pass well. He was in the running for MVP.
Are you saying that Carson Wentz sucks?
I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not saying he sucks, but I'm saying this. He's on the hot seat. Jalen Hurts is not a screw. I think, if one bad game, and you're going to hear fans saying, put Jalen Hurts in, put Jalen Hurts. Hey, he's on the hot seat. He better perform. He better play good unless he wants.
Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you.
What?
I think Dak's on a hotter seat if they franchise him and then give him all these weapons.
Did you see him last year when he didn't have a receiver the whole year that had over 500 reception yards, and he took them to the playoffs? They won that game against the Cowboys. It was them or the Cowboys in the playoffs, and Wentz won the game. And he had no receivers. What do you want him to do?
Yeah. Well, listen,
that was a test of will he came through.
Having that dual threat capability adds something
So
else.
does Dak. Dak has that.
Yeah, that adds something the defense has to think about, right? So, yeah, exactly. Dak has that. But if you have a Jalen Hurts, somebody that can throw relatively well, but also run the ball, look at Lamar Jackson MVP. Teams are starting to evolve and shift to like that dual threat quarterback.
I don't think
Carson Wentz, he could do it initially, but now he's, he got injured, so people are cautious. I think Doug knew exactly what he was doing. He got Jalen Hurts. He's like, all right, Carson, you better perform or else I'm going to put this kid in. This kid is a superstar.
I agree with Jonathan on this one. The only reason that I didn't like the Jalen Hurts pick is because if Carson Wentz starts losing or has a couple bad stretches in the season, it divides the fans, and now the fans want Jalen Hurts. Exactly. And then the front office is torn because you have all these fans that want Jalen Hurts. Yeah. And Wentz isn't performing as well as he could perform better. It divides the fans, and then eventually it will get to the team, and it's going to hurt the team more than anything.
Just like what happened to Tony Romo and Dak, I think it could happen to Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts.
Oh, come on. Wentz is never near as old as or injury prone as Romo.
Carson Wentz is probably going to demand a trade or something because I'm telling you. They're going to end up paying Jalen Hurts. I'm telling you how it's going to go.
Wentz, as an Eagles fan, I could see I understand the art. I do see it. Like what Jared, you were saying, how under the shadow of Foles for a season, like there is always that. There's been a pattern of injury, but last season he played every game. He got sent out of Seattle because of an illegal hit, in my opinion. So that's can't be helped. You could hit. And there's an article I read that was like David Clowney could hit the Hulk in the back of the head the same way, and the Hulk would be concussed. You can't do anything. But that was an article I read. But the point is, I don't have an issue. I think Wentz is the guy. I do understand the pattern, which I think is why they drafted so high, which still raises eyebrows. But it's like that question. I think Jalen Hurts can improve a lot. I think he's a really solid backup, but I don't think anyone's debating that Wentz has problems being a starter. I think he's the guy. I think the players look up to him. And especially since we're still on the topic of the draft picks, all the receivers that the Eagles drafted were field stretchers, really fast guys that, we went for speed this draft, which I like. We still have Deshaun Jackson, but Eagles have one of the oldest rosters in the league. So just getting a bunch of help on at least on the wide receiver left, who are young and fast, because Wentz loves the deep ball. He's really good at throwing it. And, there's a few games where we lost because our receivers just didn't get the ball. I like to say it was by Wentz's sheer will that we made it to the playoffs, because he really statistically didn't have that much help. We had good running back mixes up. It just shows that if we get help, we'll see how far we go, especially with offensively having Hurts just be on, suited up. If Wentz goes down, I'm excited to see what Jalen Hurts does compared to like other backups in the past where it's like, oh, let's just try to not lose. With Hurts, I feel like we might be able to win. I don't think you're competing for starter. There's just like a little different distinction there. But then having these receivers who stretch the field and then having two tight ends and Goddard and Ertz cut underneath, I think it's going to be nightmares for defense.
Yeah. And I don't say this happily because I think this is bad for Cowboys. I think Carson Wentz is going to be on his A+ game every single game because chip on his shoulder. I see that exactly, in fear that he could easily be replaced. So I'm nervous as a Cowboys fan. Carson Wentz is going to bring it every single game.
I would say more for the Packers. I think there's more of an issue with the Packers in terms of what you're like changing of position. Going to that, I think Rodgers is like older, but he's still Aaron Rodgers. So that'll be interesting to see how that happens.
Yeah, and I don't think I've really heard him complain. People are complaining about what happened and stuff, but I haven't heard him. I don't think he should complain. You know why? He's on a 4-year, $134 million contract. Oh, how miserable, Aaron! How so? You draft another quarterback, and you're so sad. He's getting paid a lot. Just do your job. If you do it well, you're not going to be replaced. They needed to get somebody else to develop him kind of early. You're 36. He's 36 years old. They need to start thinking about the future, right? So I think it was a good pick. They saw a good quarterback left, and they got him.
So are we officially moving on to the Packers topic?
Yeah, does anybody else have anything to say about the NFC East, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants? Nothing?
I've done a bit. I'm good.
Okay, so let's move on. The Packers drafted Jordan Love with their first-round pick. I saw a stat that Aaron Rodgers has thrown one touchdown to a first-round draft pick in his whole career. So, with that being said, do you think the Cowboys, God damn it, do you think the Packers made a mistake in drafting Jordan Love, or is Rodgers on his way out? John, why don't you start this one?
Yeah, well, I think we all heard Brett Favre this week say he thinks Rodgers is going somewhere else. Yeah, I think Rodgers is going to leave. I think he's going to the Patriots. He's going to play with Belichick.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
No, honestly, I do think he's going to leave. You guys know Rodgers. He forced the coach out. Like the GM or the owner had to choose between him or McCarthy, and he chose Rodgers. Rodgers is not going to be happy about this. They needed wide receivers. They drafted a quarterback first round. They needed some defensive line backing help. They drafted a running back with their second pick. They don't need either of those. So like Rodgers is like, what the, like we just went to the NFC Championship game. Why are you not helping me? So I'm looking at either the Patriots or the Broncos. The Broncos added 2 good wide receivers, a good tight end. They have Von Miller. They drafted Bradley Chubb last year, who nobody is really talking about because he got injured, but I think they're a team where he could step in and play well because Elway knows how important it is to get a quarterback, and I don't know if he really believes Locke is the answer. So I think Rodgers is going to go to the Patriots or Broncos within the next year or two.
Do you think he's gone? All right, like this is it.
He's already
There's no,
F them. They're done.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's crazy to me. I hadn't thought about it that way. Yeah. Because Packers are contractually obligated to Rodgers for, was it 4 more years? Which is why I like the Jordan Love pick is like, trading away who wants to – it's Aaron Rodgers, but that's an interesting thought, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because it was almost a parallel as what happened with Rodgers and Brett Favre. It's like same. So it's interesting for Brett Favre to say he's going to leave. I think that has merit. It's also a business. I saw some tweets about that where it's just like, Aaron Rodgers is older. I think he has a lot to play. He's one of my favorite players to watch in the league. So wherever he goes, if he does go anywhere, it would be scary. But yeah, the Packers, it makes sense what they're doing if you just look at giving some development time for Love under, similar with the Eagles, but it's just more. I don't think people saw it coming because they got so close to the Super Bowl that they just needed to fill. I don't think it's as simple as they just needed to fill some holes, but it is kind of positionally they're saying almost like getting a running back and a quarterback is like they're building for Super Bowl down the line, like not the one this season, but like they're changing the whole franchise right now. So it's interesting why they're doing that kind of. It kind of baffles me. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I mean, from the perspective of the Green Bay Packers as a team, this makes a lot of sense. Like Caleb was saying, you have to think about the future.
What do you mean the future? You just went to the NFC Championship.
Yeah. But
how much closer do you want to get to the Super Bowl?
Well, the draft is all about seeing what's available, right? And they saw a good quarterback in Jordan Love. So they're like, all right, if we see a good quarterback, let's just take him now and groom him under Aaron Rodgers. Because we don't know if we'll get a good pick like this again.
He's not that good, is he? He's not that good. I mean, you saw tape on him. He's not like.
Well, the thing is, the key word is dual threat, right? I'm telling you, the league's evolving. Lamar Jackson changed the league last year. The league's evolving.
Lamar Jackson, he can't throw.
Well, that's the thing. That's exactly. So everybody saw how he could. but the coach, Coach Harbaugh, made him seem like a pretty good quarterback. Lamar Jackson can be successful at quarterback like that. Then even a decent throwing quarterback that can run the ball as well could be good if the coach is good.
Yeah, but nobody runs like Lamar. Lamar's like Jordan Love can't run like Lamar can. Lamar's like shifty and everything.
Yeah. But still, I still think if you're able to run at all, that adds another thing the defense has to worry about. And having that in the quarterback of the future, that's what we're talking about, right? I think that's going to be critical. So they saw that. They're like, all right, Jordan Love, let's get him now and then groom him, make him become a smarter football player under Aaron Rodgers. And we also know he's athletic as well. So those two components, we think he could be our next starter after Aaron Rodgers leaves. So in terms of the team, it was a great decision. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Aaron Rodgers specifically, I understand how that can be annoying because you're not thinking about the team right now because we just went to the NFC Championship, right? We want to go back, go to the Super Bowl. Give me the pieces right now to win. And right now, I don't feel like we have the top receivers. Our defense, I don't think is as good, So I understand where Aaron Rodgers is coming from, even if he is complaining. But I think this was the best choice for the team.
But the team, they're already growing a quarterback. They have a backup quarterback that they're growing. Hundley.
He's gone now.
You don't want to grow Hundley?
He's a freaking backup, man. He's a backup. No.
So it will be interesting. Sorry, Dan, you have a finish your thought?
Oh no, yeah, I was done.
Okay, I was just gonna say it will be interesting. What I mentioned earlier is like Rodgers was on the other end of this situation with Favre being the starter and then being drafted when Favre still had a time, So it'll be interesting to see if like he treats Love differently because he knows what it feels like. If there's a change in that history won't repeat necessarily. Who knows? But I think Rodgers is a generational talent. So I don't. It is. They might be developing him, but I think Rodgers sticks around. But it is like, well, what's the draft going to produce fruit for? What's your first round and second round pick going to produce fruit? Who knows?
Yeah. And half the battle as a quarterback is just being smart, being football smart. You have to know the game, and that takes development. You can't just get thrown in there and not know what to do. Developing him under Aaron Rodgers, a smart football mindset. I think this is a good thing.
But do you think Rodgers is okay with that? Like, do you think what Caleb is saying is true? Like, Rodgers is going to stick it out and help him?
Well, I mean, like I said,
his personality.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a 4-year, $134 million contract. I don't think it hurts to stick it out. I don't think it hurts to just.
Wait, what if he leaves? Like what John said. What if he leaves and then this totally backfires and now you got this raw ass quarterback that isn't good? You're supposed to have him develop under Rodgers.
He's not gonna leave. How is he gonna leave? Like, sorry, he's gonna force a trade.
Force a trade. Yeah. A lot of
The
players
management's not gonna let him do that. They're gonna say no. We're not gonna let you.
What?
What he's gonna do? Protest and not play? If you don't play,
Yeah, he has guaranteed money. They have to pay him, so he could just do whatever he wants.
That wouldn't be a smart thing. He just play. He would be losing money. You have to get paid to play. Even though he has guaranteed money, you want to maximize the money you get. I don't think he's
not like a business major or anything.
Well, I mean, he has business ties, right? He has business ties.
Like what?
He's 36. He should know. He's 36. I'm old.
I think I see him on State Farm a lot.
Yeah, he's getting money from there. He knows he's going to leave the Packers.
What if he retires? What if he calls it quits?
Oh, he's not going to do that. He's a competitor. Competitors.
What if he pulls a Gronk?
Gronk? I mean, that's a different story.
I don't think he leaves. I think it's just too.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I think we're just waiting on the report of like what he thinks of all this, because I mean everybody's said so many things, but he has not put out one statement yet or any like red flag that he's mad at all or upset.
Yeah.
I mean, the Packers don't do this. They don't draft wide receivers in the first round anyway. You know, like the stat I said, that he's only thrown a touchdown to one first-round pick. So they don't do this often anyway, so maybe this is what he was expecting. So.
I mean, after all, I'm saying after all, they did go to the NFC Championship, right? I mean, come on. They have to be doing something right. It's not just Aaron Rodgers. It's a team game. It's a team sport. So.
I was going to say about receivers, the point you brought up, Jared. I saw an interesting thing where there is a lot of variability in first round receivers. Some of them are really great, and you can predict it. Then a lot of them do flare out, so it's not always guaranteed. And that goes for Eagles, Cowboys, any other team that drafted a receiver. There's a lot of variability. Is what I'm saying, and so it'll be interesting. I think with any of the Packers, I think Aaron Rodgers is a professional. I love to watch him play. I think he's one of my favorite. I said this earlier, but he's a professional. Like, for him to leave the Packers, I don't think that's like, when he has all this guaranteed money, like, he's the guy, and he's a competitive guy. So I don't think he's going to leave. But if anything, it might be awkward for a little while, but I don't think he leaves. I think it's just going to be like, this is what it is. Let's do the job and try to win games.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's dive into the Gronk situation, because that's a little weird. So John and I talked about this on the last podcast. Gronk going to the Buccaneers, I personally don't like it at all. I think there is way too much risk in it. I don't think he's going to be the tight end that he was before. I think there's a high risk that he gets injured. There's a report that O.J. Howard wants out, who could potentially be a phenomenal tight end going forward. Now bringing Gronk in for 1 year is pushing, a future tight end out. I just feel like this is just to please Brady, but does not help the team at all. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on that.
Yeah, so it's been 1 full year, right, for Gronk. He's older, right? It's not just easy to get back in football shape after 1 full year of just having fun, partying, relaxing. I don't think he's going to be as effective. So I agree with that. And you bring up a good point. O.J. Howard is also a good tight end, one of the best in the league. So, bringing back Gronk, you have to have a coach that, is able to utilize that 2 tight end set, because you can have 2 tight ends that start. Cowboys have done it, But if you look at the running back, who's the Tampa Bay running back? Is it still
Ronald Jones and Peyton Barber?
Ronald Jones. I mean, you have to have a good back, like a good offensive line. It has to make sense. Bringing Gronk just makes the culture more confusing in terms of the offense. You don't know what type of offense they're going to run. And, having Gronk and Tom Brady both go to Tampa Bay, I think people are going to give Bill Belichick more credit. I don't think Bruce Arians is going to be able to utilize those 2 players, just like how Bill Belichick was able to utilize them. I feel that Bill Belichick found ways to give Gronk the ball, singling him out on one side. I just don't think Bruce Arians can draw up those plays to maximize Gronk's potential and Tom Brady's. I think Tom Brady's a good quarterback, but at the end of the day, Bill Belichick made him Tom Brady, and he's gonna realize that once he starts this year.
Wait, are you saying that Belichick made Brady, so you don't think Brady's going to be good, or you don't think Gronk is going to be good?
I don't think both of them are gonna be as good, because I don't think Bruce Arians is as good of a coach as Bill Belichick was. Bill Belichick, what was that?
I agree with you. I mean, I think Belichick was able to draw. Belichick is the best coach in the league at give him any random player, and he'll find his strengths and figure out how to use them.
Exactly.
I mean, when you look at, I just looked up the targets that the Buccaneers had to different player positions last year. So the tight ends, they targeted 118 times all year. They targeted Mike Evans 118 times.
Wow.
They targeted Godwin 119 times. So they look at like the tight ends, all of their tight ends the same as like one person, Evans. So like Gronk is going to fit in, but he's not going to, he'll have 50 catches maybe, if that. Like he'll have 8 touchdowns probably, but he's not going to stretch the field. He's not going to play every play or every other play.
Yeah, it confuses.
But he's still going to be like reliable, and they're still going to use him like in the red zone and stuff.
Yeah. I think it just confuses. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay. Are you finishing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I was gonna say that I had OJ Howard, the tight end for the Buccaneers for fantasy, which is not like clearly my educated opinion here. But he was, before the season started, he was drafted to be one of the top 3 in terms of like who you draft tight ends. And from experience, nothing against the guy personally, but he did not fill that role for me. And it hurt.
Fantasy changes your opinions on people.
Yeah.
That's why I like the Goodwin, Marquise Goodwin of the Eagles. He helped me. I had him before. But I agree with Jonathan that he is posed to be a good. I just don't think it worked out. So I think it hurts Tampa if they can't keep him, because having Gronk there, I mean, having name status, I think Gronk still is a good tight end. It'll be interesting to see how he comes back, because Jonathan has a point. Getting field ready is like mentally, physically challenging if you really retired. I also know that part of the reason for Gronk's retirement was the toll on his body. So if anything, it's possible that he heals and improves and isn't so battle weary, so to say, in terms of football. But Howard could maybe improve. I think he has a huge ceiling. It just wasn't acquired in the last season. So how that plays out with Brady in the mix, it's a really interesting concoction they have going on in Tampa. I think it's good to get some of the pressure off Evans, because Evans is a great receiver. So if they're able to split the field up more, Tampa could be a contender. I don't know how their defense is, but getting Brady there and getting in with Gronk, having that chemistry, because it's all new terrain really for both of them, as well as like the city of Tampa and all those players who are. Jameis Winston's really good in terms of getting it, like statistically. I mean, you forget the interceptions. Those are. The one thing I've agreed that Skip Bayless has said, like, as an Eagles fan, I don't agree with him a lot, but he once said that Jameis Winston is good enough to keep both teams in the game because of the amount of touchdowns and interceptions. And like, you erase the interceptions, he's a great quarterback. So the Tampa could be much higher ceiling when you have a consistent great quarterback like Tom Brady. Yeah. So we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, I think Bucs would definitely be a better team, but I don't think they're going to be that elite team people think that they're going to be. I don't think.
Super Bowl?
Could they make the playoffs?
Oh,
yeah, make the playoffs.
What?
Could they go 2 rounds deep? Wait, what?
Super Bowl?
Are you going to the Super Bowl? To the NFC Championship.
Oh, come on. They're not going.
Really?
They're going to the NFC Championship game.
They're not going.
It's already set.
I thought it was already set.
Roger Goodell said they're already in it, no matter what happens.
I'm sure you saw Tom
Brady. Go 0-17, they're in there.
even though there were many factors, I still I know you guys saw Tom Brady's performance last year. You know, he's clearly old. Bill Belichick was strong holding on. I'm telling you, he's not going to be as good. It's going to be disappointing. I feel bad. I wish he was still the same, but it's going to be disappointing.
What?
Sorry to disappoint you guys, but I think they'll be even lucky if they make the playoffs. They'll be even lucky.
Lucky?
What?
There's an extra
Dude.
playoff spot now.
No. Do you actually think that? Like you don't think that they could not make the
Off
playoffs?
the podcast.
Yeah. Dude, what?
What is their identity? They don't have an identity.
What?
It's confusion.
Dude,
Gronk.
It's going to be air raid.
Did you see how bad Winston was last year? Like he led the league in passing yards.
Okay. You know, listen.
If you put Brady into that offense, he's gonna. I guarantee he throws 5,000 yards.
You know what?
And at least 35 touchdowns.
Okay, you know what? Let's take a step back. Who's in their division, right? You have Saints,
Carolina.
Carolina. Okay.
What about
the Falcons?
And the
Christian McCaffrey.
That's a really good
Christian
division.
McCaffrey. Come on.
Who's their
Saints,
No, that's good.
Saints,
That's good,
Falcons,
'cause-
maybe Panthers.
Falcons? Falcons are hungry. So you tell me,
Dude, nobody can stop Brady and Evans and Godwin and Gronk. Those three are going to be like I'm
Saints
drafting
defense is
everybody
really good,
in
though.
on their
I think
team.
Saints have, without seeing Tampa Bay play, I think Saints are the best team in that division.
exactly.
We don't know once they play because I think it's going to be really fun to watch Tampa Bay because for Tom Brady and legacy wise, if it doesn't pan out in Tampa Bay, you can say like, oh, it was it wasn't all Belichick. I don't agree with that narrative, but like a lot of it was a lot of things, but if he's able to make it to the playoffs, without the Patriots, then it shows that he as an individual, we can weigh it better when you take him out of the Patriots. Like you really remove all these other variables, like the constant. So it'll be interesting to see because it is a tough division. I don't know.
It's a tough division.
We'll see. Yeah, I kind of see what Jonathan's side.
There's so much. I have so much confidence they'll make the playoffs. I'm not even a little bit worried. I'd put any amount of money you want.
They'll make the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs for sure.
It's like a lock. I don't even know. Like that's the most sure thing.
Okay, so you think they're going to make a wild card, or do you think they're going to win the division?
I don't know. I agree that the
Saints.
Saints.
That's my question.
As of right now, the Saints have the better overall team. The Bucs defense isn't great. I'm just saying the offense is going to live up to expectations, and they're definitely making the playoffs. And I think they'll win a couple games in the playoffs. If not, go to the championship game.
I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting, but
you said you feel bad for their fans because you don't think they're going to be good.
Yeah, they're you guys are overhyping him. Tom Brady, he's great. He's a great quarterback, but he's old.
Overhyping Tom Brady?
He's not the same guy. You guys have to realize that him, Gronk,
they'll have to use him.
Gronk is devastating. He's not the same guy either. After 1 year of partying, having fun, eating junk food, you can't just go back to football shape, especially if you're old. So
it'll be interesting how they use Brady because like Evans is a great receiver, and I think that opens up a lot of options. But Jonathan mentioned earlier, like Brady's still great, and he can still do very well in whatever they give him, But there were passes like deep balls that just weren't the same as maybe younger. Like that happens. It happens. Doesn't mean you can't play quarterback, but I don't know how they'll adapt to that. I don't think it's a limitation that you can make it to the end zone, but it's just. Compare him to where Rodgers is right now, or Mahomes or other guys. It's just going to be different, I think, especially in a new area. There's a lot of variability. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know if they had the opportunity to keep Jameis. I don't know if it was a trade. I don't know if they had the opportunity to keep Jameis and they let him go. That wasn't smart either because if Tom Brady sucks this year, then what are you going to do? You don't have another quarterback.
I mean, the Saints only paid like $1 million for 1 year.
Yeah,
so I don't think anybody wanted him.
I mean, they should have just kept him at this point. I mean, you don't have anybody else, right? Tom Brady, I don't think he's gonna.
They don't need it. You don't need anybody else. You have Brady, dude.
You think he's gonna get injured, or do you think he's gonna get benched?
He's just not gonna be as good as people think. I'm telling you, he's not gonna be as good.
Let's flip this to the Patriots because they didn't draft a quarterback. So they have Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer as their starters.
Jarrett Stidham. That's the key word.
No, Jonathan. Don't do this.
Dude, what are you doing?
Don't do this.
State champ of Texas. This guy is good. I'm telling you, he's a real deal.
Not everyone from Texas is good.
If you can run the if you run the spread, if you run the spread well, the spread offense well.
That's not what the Patriots do.
I know. That's what I'm saying. If you're able to run the spread offense, it takes wisdom to run that. If you're able to do that, then you can push under anybody.
Jameis Winston ran the spread off.
Jameis Winston wasn't good. I always knew he wasn't good. I'm telling you, Jarrett Stidham, this guy is the real deal. You guys
You're just saying that. You're just saying that because he's on the Patriots, and
no.
You think Belichick is going to coach him up pretty good?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Belichick. People underrate the coaches.
No,
Belichick this guy is a phenom. The guy's a phenom. I'm telling you, he's going to coach Jarrett Stidham up. I'm telling you.
I know how good Belichick is, but Stidham is. Trust me, he's not the guy. Belichick is.
Same thing they're saying about Tom Brady.
No, they're gonna get somebody else. They're gonna maybe they'll tank and try to get Trevor. What if they try to get Trevor Lawrence? Why don't they just tank this year?
Dude, they're not gonna need him. I'm telling you, they're not gonna need this guy.
Are they gonna sign Cam Newton?
No, Cam Newton, no, he's not football savvy. He's not football savvy. He's an athletic guy, but
he's a dual threat.
No, you need somebody that can under Bill Belichick. You need somebody that can, throw well. That's his thing. That's his style. He doesn't really care too much about the dual threat. Look at Tom Brady.
Not that guy.
I think you'll be surprised. He's gonna surprise many people.
So wait. So this is a stupid question, but I'm gonna ask it. Is there a higher probability that the Patriots make the playoffs than the Buccaneers?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
No. That is a bad question.
Dude, I think the Patriots are gonna make the playoffs. Look at the division. Have you forgot?
They have the Bills.
Yeah, have you forgot? The Bills are gonna win the division. It's done.
Dude, the Bills are always gonna be the Bills. They're always gonna suck.
I can't argue that.
All right. So if the Patriots stick with Stidham, they might get the last playoff spot because they did add another playoff spot in the off season. They, changed the playoffs or whatever. They might get one of the last spots, but the Buccaneers have way better chance to make the playoffs. Not even close. If the Patriots stay with Stidham, if they pick up somebody, then I'll have to rethink. But as of right now, it's going to be a bad season for them.
Bad.
Don't underestimate great coaches, man. I'm telling you.
Wow. Okay. So we're at about 50 minutes. 49 minutes. So let's round this episode off with predictions. Let's do the offensive rookie of the year. I guess we'll go around. So John, why don't you start?
So I guess I do think Burrow will be the offensive rookie of the year. I think Zach Taylor has a good system there. They have Mixon, they have AJ Green, Boyd, John Ross, T. Higgins. So I do think Burrow will win rookie of the year. But somebody else I'm keeping my eye on is running back Cam Akers. He went to the Rams, and the Rams don't have Gurley anymore, so they were looking for another running back. I think he went to – let me see where he was from Florida State. So I think he's going to be somebody to watch out for. I think they're going to feature him. And since there's no Gurley, they have a good system for run games and throwing to the running back. So he's somebody I'm watching out for.
Jonathan?
Well, I do agree. I think the offensive rookie of the year will be Burrow. But I must say, CD.
No, okay, all right.
No.
This guy is gonna compete with Amari to be the best receiver on the team.
No, there's not enough.
This guy is a real deal. He's a playmaker.
There's not enough.
Excellent route runner.
There's not enough. There's not enough targets. Dak can't drop back 50 times a game. CD I think is really good, but he's not going to get the volume. He's not going to get the opportunity.
He's a slot receiver. If you're slot, it's easy to give him the ball. Security blanket. He's going to be better than Cole Beasley. Look at you remember how good Cole Beasley was? He's going to be better than this guy. He's a slot receiver. Easily get him the ball. He's like quick slants, quick outs. He has the speed to score. I'm telling you, this guy's going to be a playmaker. He's going to make some noise in the NFL. I'm telling you. So besides Joe Burrow, CDT for offensive rookie of the year. And honestly, for defensive rookie of the year, I mean, obviously there is one strong dominant person, Chase Young, right? I just don't think Jared, I just don't think anybody else can really outperform this guy this year. I think this guy's it's gonna be a solid defensive rookie of the year win for Chase Young. That's what I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know much about, like, I don't really follow as closely for like predicting these kind of things. I'll just kind of give a short, quick answer. I think Chase Young's good. I mean, the Buckeyes produce really good defensive ends. Have a history of winning it. So I'll just go that safe answer, it seems, because this is not my field of expertise, predicting anything. And then one thing I would say, and maybe throw out to you guys, I could see for offensive player, Burrow is probably the safest right now. But what about Tua? Do you think he has a shot? Is he starting right away?
Yeah,
Could he
He's
be
on a
yes.
different team, maybe. But
He-
not with the
Miami?
offense.
Dude,
Miami had
Tua,
flashes of brilliance toward the ends, though. So maybe if you
Yes,
get him
very
a
true,
solid
very true.
quarterback.
if you look at the history of the Alabama quarterbacks, it's tough for them.
He's different, though. He's different.
No.
He's different. He's the most accurate quarterback in this draft.
I don't, dude. You have to worry about injury with him.
Yeah,
Right.
Injuries. He's a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
He gets injured. I agree with Jonathan. It's going to be tough for him.
Really?
I'll watch those two guys. Those are my two picks for offensive rookie of the year.
Jared, you want to go, and then I'll say my defensive rookie of the year. It's a little dark horse, I guess.
Okay, so I had Joe Burrow initially, but I was just thinking of Jonathan Taylor going to the Colts.
Oh, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, he was one of the best running backs in college this year, and you have Phillip Rivers as a quarterback, and he throws a lot of interceptions. So you're gonna have to rely on the run game a lot. He needs to lower his fumbles. So if he can hold on to that ball, he's probably gonna rush for. Oh, man, I think he's gonna rush for 1,000 yards this season with the Colts. He's gonna be starting. They don't have anybody else except Marlon Mack.
Yeah,
So,
but the only thing is, like, I heard he's like not that great at catching out of the backfield. Like, how much Rivers likes to dump it down. How many times did he dump it down to Gordon and Eckler? Like, literally every other play.
Yeah,
that's true. I don't know if that was the Chargers' offense or if it was just Phillip comfortable in that. But yeah, I think Jonathan Taylor would be a sleeper offensive rookie of the year. And then defense, I got Isaiah Simmons. I think he'll be able to fill the stat sheets in Arizona. He can play corner, he can play linebacker, you could put him at freaking defensive end. He will play anywhere. He's gonna fill his stat sheets and get sacks, tackles for loss, interceptions. I think you won't be able to deny that. You won't be able to deny his stat sheet at the end of the season. It'll be filled. Chase Young will not be defensive rookie of the year. You can come back to this podcast and you'll be like, "Oh wow, Jared was right. He's not good." I talked to John. This is a story time. Remember, John, when we were at our house, and I told you I was like, Chase Young is like one of the best defensive ends I've ever seen.
Yeah, I remember you telling me, you're like, look at these highlights, and you showed me a highlight. You're like, this guy
He's
is
like tackling with one arm.
Yeah, you're like, he just throws guys down with one arm.
Yeah, so I was a little blindsided by the competition that they had. It was doo-doo. Now, if you go and you look at his last 3 games, which were Michigan, Wisconsin, and Clemson, 0 sacks. 0 sacks.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, you have to think about it. That's because that's called strategy. The coaches saw how good, all right, let's double team him.
They finally started to key on him. And the thing about Michigan, they have a good offensive line. Wisconsin's known for their good offensive line. Clemson always has a good offensive line. So now you put them against
but now you're
good
facing
offensive
NFL
line.
guys. Now you're facing NFL guys who are filled with first-round picks and second-round picks of linemen. I just don't know if he'll be that disruptive. That's just my opinion.
I agree
Hot
with
take.
Jared. I don't think he's going to be great. Maybe like 8 sacks or something like that, but I don't think he's going to be near the top of the league in sacks.
I mean,
or
they
pressure.
they compared him to Clowney, and Clowney right now he's a free agent, or he hasn't gotten signed with anybody. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So my rookie or defensive rookie of the year is a guy from LSU who we touched on a little bit last week, Patrick Queen, linebacker.
Yeah.
I never even knew about this guy, but when I saw him in the championship against Clemson, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is flying all over the field. And he got drafted by the Ravens. And the Ravens, like, he's a guy you could just plug in day one, and he's going to be the captain of the defense. So I see Queen being rookie of the year. I mean, he's going to fly all over the place. You'll see. He'll lead rookies in tackles next year. He's that good.
Keep an eye on him.
One more thing, John and I talked about this last podcast. He doesn't think the Ravens are going to win the division.
No, yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not going to win the division.
What makes you say that?
Yeah, why?
Okay, so my reasoning was every time a quarterback has an MVP season, the next season after that is like a pretty big drop off. You saw Cam Newton when they went to the Super Bowl against the Broncos. The next year, like nothing. The Falcons when they played against the Patriots in the MVP, the next year nothing. And then Mahomes, after he threw 50 touchdowns last year, they did win the Super Bowl, but his regular season wasn't that great. And now Lamar throwing 35 touchdowns or whatever and rushing for so many yards. You guys are going to be like, wow, how did you know? He's going to have such a big drop off. I guarantee he doesn't even throw 30 touchdowns next year. Watch. He's going to run the ball like he did last year, and teams now know how to play against him, and he's going to be forced to throw. And I wish they picked a wide receiver in the first round. I really do. I don't know. Oh, they picked Queen, the linebacker, which was good. But in the second round, or third round, they got J.K. Dobbins from Ohio State. I'm like, why do you need him? You should have got a receiver. Like, now teams are going to learn how to play.
Wait. Who do Ravens get?
J.K. Dobbins.
All right, I'll let you finish.
So trust me, Dobbins isn't even going to help them at all. He's not. He's not even that
good.
Dude.
Trust me. He's not that good. I've watched him, and watch. People are gonna figure out how to play Lamar, and they're gonna force him to throw. And this Ravens team doesn't even know. Their fans, they're gonna be let down because Lamar has nobody to throw to. They have 5 tight ends on the roster. They have Marquise Brown, who's just fast and can't really catch that much. Can you guys name like their second receiver? I know all receivers in the league. I can't even name, like, I think they have Willie Snead. Like, I don't even know who else they have.
Yeah.
Like, just trust me. They're not gonna win the division. It's gonna be the Steelers.
You have to look at
the Steelers.
Yeah.
You have to look at their identity. They're a running team, right? They do the running, then they'll do some play action to get some tight in the ball and stuff. But their identity is running. The more running backs they have, right? Do they still have Mark Ingram? I still believe they do, right? Yeah. J.K. Dobbins. I didn't know they had him. J.K. Dobbins. That's more additional firepower to the running game. All they do is run. Then Lamar Jackson, that's a beautiful thing. He can do some play action, throw threat to add some variability to that offense. Then you can do a quick play action to a tight end. You only need like tight ends that can catch, that can block mainly, but can catch, in between. You don't need elite receivers. I mean, Marquise Brown, you can have him on the side, but with this offense, it's a running first offense. You don't need elite receivers. That's what I don't know who drew up this offense, Jim Harbaugh or is it Jim? Is that Jim? Is it
John?
John, whatever. John Harbaugh. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need
J's in this group.
you don't need elite receivers with this offense. It's a good drawn offense, smart offense. Given that Lamar Jackson can't really throw that well, he's more of a run first quarterback. So having Lamar Jackson run, having J.K. Dobbins, having Mark Ingram, having a good offensive line and tight ends that can block well and can also catch when you need them to, they're gonna win the division again.
No,
I agree.
I'm telling you, Lamar will not have a 106.9 passer rating.
Yeah, that's probably. I mean, hey, I agree, but Lamar Jackson may not throw as good. You know, he's probably inconsistent. He may not throw as good this season, but their team's still gonna be good, right? They're gonna find a way to score points, whether it be running, I mean, which is what they're gonna do like 70% of the time. I think they're gonna throw in a few play actions, and teams are gonna start to see these play action plays over and over and realize, you know, how to stop it. I just think that there's so much options for this offense in terms of you know creating many different weapons in terms of you know running the ball. You know, I didn't even know they had J.K. Dobbins, like I said. They have somebody else too, right? They have a third running back. Is it Edwards or something?
Yeah, Gus
Oh
Edwards.
yeah.
Edwards. You know, I just think there's so many pieces still. I don't think you can count them out yet. So
I think they go back too. The AFC North is such a it's. I don't want to say it's a developing division, like a lot of young aspects, but I think Lamar's a guy that's going to stay. I think he's like on, you know, comparing to Vic. You know, Vic changed in each season and things like that, but he's got a good mix. I think they're going to be a problem for any other team in the AFC North.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, leave a like, comment down below, and we will see you guys on the next Dorn Debate podcast. Thanks, guys.